What's up, fans? It's KP. I'm stylin at the New York Comic-Con with Dan Abnett. Dan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Now, Dan, a lot of people may know you for your work as a novelist.
Yeah.
Right? Others may know you as a screenwriter for Ultramarines.
Yes.
All right. Is one so different, really, from the other?
Yes, it has to be said. It is. I come from a background of writing novels and comics, so I suppose the visual medium of comics translates mostly to a movie. But I was recruited to do this because I've written 40k novels, written the universe quite well. I understand how it works, so I guess they figured I was a fairly safe bet to translate it well onto screen. There are things that you need to do in a story for a movie that you would never attempt to do in a novel, and vice versa. So that was a really interesting set of criteria to approach from a writing point of view. It meant I could do things that I'd never done before. But also it was making a statement. They'd wanted a Warhammer 40k film for 20 plus years since the universe came along. It's something that everybody has been very, very keen on. I remember sort of in the late 90s when we started writing novels, that was a really big deal. You're extending the franchise into fiction, that's a very big, exciting thing. So to take it one step further into movies is answering a dream that a lot of players have had for a long time. So I had to find a way of writing a story that was, as the first movie, a definitive statement about what 40k was, which is to take the iconic image of it, which is the Space Marine, and put together a really simple, robust, thrilling story featuring them, so you understood exactly what Space Marines were. So twofold. One is to take the fans who've been around for however long and give them something they've been waiting for, and also to get to produce a story that people who don't know Warhammer 40,000 don't sit there with no clue as to what's going on. So it's an access point as well as it is pleasing the fans.
And they're very two different challenges, aren't they?
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Because you start with people that started with the miniature and the gaming years ago, right? Yeah. And those people that it's been part of their life, you know, those are purists and they know those details.
Oh, dearie me, yes they do.
Yeah. Do you ever get called out on?
All the time, yeah. And I think that's good, actually. I think I'd worry if people didn't care that much. Right. If they're picking up on details of uniform or continuity or background, then I think it would be a terrible shame that the people weren't. It proves to me they're so engaged that it's worth writing a novel or a movie based on the universe because people really, really want to see that stuff. So I'm never offended by it. And sometimes I make a quiet note and think, well, I'll correct that next time.
I'm sure they do. Now, I understand in your novels you had a little quirk where you tried to write some of your friends or their names into and then kill them off systematically.
Yeah, I have one series of novels called Gaunt's Ghost. It's about an infantry unit, and the body count in that is incredibly high, as you can imagine, because it's a very violent game. And I was constantly needing new names. So I come to shows like this, I do a signing, and if people are willing, I write down they write down their names in my notebook, and I slowly working my way through this and basically killing them off. And sometimes they put a little request in brackets, please kill me with a rocket, or you know, can I be run over by a tank? And I try and do my best. And sometimes I have to modify their names to make them sound 40k, but they're still recognisable.
Where did you get your start?
I started back in the 80s. I was working at Marvel UK in the Marvel offices in London as an editor, and I started writing then for all sorts of junior licensed titles. And I eventually realised I liked writing so much that I went freelance, and a large number of comics and 40+ novels later, I'm here writing this. So, well, this is coming out of Games Workshop in the 80s, 1980s. This was a fantastic image that sort of almost immediately hit upon the iconic images of the Space Marine, which they've been developing ever since. And loads of other great games have been inspired by it. So it's not like they've copied it, but they've just come along. They've seen how fantastic and thoroughly fully constructed a universe can be, and they have based themselves on that and spun out their own versions of it. So it's incredibly influential. It sort of underpins all sorts of things in ways that are almost invisible because it's been around so long and it's so much part of the landscape. And that's another great reason for doing a movie of it.
Right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know they're lining up to get even more access to you and to see the clips. So we'll look forward to seeing your good work.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
More to come from the New York Comic-Con. I'm KP. I'm stylin. stylinonline.com. For so many different things, right? Yeah, StarCraft. We have, help me out with the other ones. Geez. Thanks, Dan.
Was that okay?
Yeah, it was wonderful. You gave me tons of stuff to work with. Thank you so much. Do you have any kind of a little quirks or secret things that fans should look like in the movie work now, or just come and enjoy it?
I think at this stage it's come and enjoy it. I hope enough people come and enjoy it so that we can start to expand and we can cover all the other facets of this universe and do more movies.
Battlestar Galactica.
Batman. Serenity.
Boba Fett. Highlander.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Doctor Who. Star Trek The Next Generation was my favorite.
Scooby-Doo.
Well, at the moment, it would be True Blood.
True Blood.
True Blood. I have to say True Blood, too.
She-Ra.
Doctor Who.
Star Wars, Episode 4.
Firefly, without a doubt.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Joker, obviously.
Family Guy.
Good choice.